Ford wanted to seek revenge on the racetrack. Humiliated in the boardroom, Ford and his executives hatched a plan to get even with Ferrari at the place he had achieved his greatest successes, the racetrack. The American company invested a reported $10 million in its Le Mans program, in particular, the development of the Ford GT for Grand Touring. The GT would become the GT40, the number corresponding to the legal height requirement for vehicles measured in inches at the windshield. For all the monetary infusion into the program, Ford failed to deliver in 1964. A year later, none of the 4 vehicles developed and entered by the Americans in the 24 hours of Le Mans even managed to cross the finish line. Worse for Ford, Ferrari continued to take the checkered flag, extending a winning streak in place since 1960. Despite setbacks and the lackluster performance in 64 and 65, Ford was still determined to tame Ferrari's prancing horse, enlisting the expertise of former racing driver and automotive designer Carroll Shelby. Shelby had proven success with the Daytona Coupe in 1964 and prior to that created and unleashed the first Cobra sports car to an adoring racing public. For the GT40 sports prototype racing program, Shelby helped develop the MKII variation of the car that had underperformed in the years leading up to 1966, the true story behind Ford v Ferrari. After a deal went sour, the automotive brands went head-to-head at Le Mans in 1966. It was a clash of automotive titans. A years-in-the-making showdown pitting upstart Ford against reigning champion Ferrari for the checkered flag and bragging rights at the 1966 24 Hours of Le Mans endurance race. Representing the old world was Enzo Ferrari, former motor racing driver and founder of his namesake marque. Henry Ford too was the torchbearer for the new world, enlisting the expertise of automotive designer Carroll Shelby and a new version of a car that would become a classic of international motor racing. The Ford GT40. The rival began when Ferrari pulled out of a deal with Ford. Bitter rivalry existing between the two brands in the lead up to the Endurance Challenge of '66 had its roots in a business deal turned sour. In 1963, Ferrari, in dire need of an injection of capital for the company, had embarrassed Ford when, at the final hour, the Italian businessman walked away from a deal which would have seen the Ford Motor Company buy into the Italian brand and the two become a combined transatlantic automotive racing force. Ford tried to buy Ferrari. Ted Ryan, Ford Company archivist, told Fox 2 Detroit. "We negotiated, we had a final deal, Enzo had approved it, and we were all the way to the end with the signature, and he backed out at the last second." Various sources placed the blame on Ferrari.